spinning my story and it be shit like that. All that tough talk, you ain't built like that. You ain't hopping the shit, you ain't bring that shit man back. You ain't been in the
head, or all four of your devices is not syncing up. This is important because that is a sign to let you know that time is leaving us. There is going to come a point to where there won't be any more time. It won't exist anymore. Okay?
Now, the only way that time would not exist is if you would have to have, you would have to have been outside of the guidance or the realm in which time has basically control, right? So you would have to be out of the area that time, the time God, right? Because there is a God of time, right? So whichever area that he rules in, which would be this third dimensional realm, understand what I'm saying? We're under a spell which causes us to age faster, right? Because even in the Bible it says we was aging slower, right? The animals in the water are not subjected to the same spell as us, right? So with that being said, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do some more research. But anyway, time itself is never going to end until, right, we are outside of the area that time governs. You feel what I'm saying? So as long as we're in this dimension or realm, the time God will always govern, right? So the only way that you're not going to be affected by the time God is if you would get rid of the time God, right? So let's keep that in mind, right?
There are dragons coming in on the planet right now. These dragons are very ancient. Some of them are Lunikai, meaning God dragons. The oldest of dragons, wisest of dragons, but they're coming through a particular portal right now. And they've been doing this now for the past couple years, which is the reason why we saw the leakage of the stuff that was going on over in China. Okay? But these dragons actually do have the ability to show themselves to you in physical form. Especially if you are vibrating high enough, you will see them. There's now video.
How many times I gotta tell y'all that's a lie, right? Because in the Bible, even the demons knew about Jesus. The devil knows about Jesus, right? The devil can see you, right? So with that being said, why would it take you to be vibrating high in order to see specific things, right? So you think people that are in the low vibration don't notice things, right? So let's say you grew up in a household where let's say you would consider this, you grew up in a household where y'all was just doing a whole bunch of rituals that was just like bad, right? So you know you're in a low vibration, but you can see everything around you, right? Because you've been doing so many rituals, you're starting to see ghosts, spirits, all type of stuff, right? So if that's the case, why would you need to be vibrating high in order to see a dragon? That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, bro, stop listening to these lies. Like, you don't need to be vibrating high to see a dragon. Just like you don't need to be vibrating high to have a consciousness. Understand what I'm saying? There are people that literally play devil's advocate with a consciousness. Understand what I'm saying? They use their awareness to their advantage to get over and deceive people. So, most of y'all are like literally unaware of what's going on. So y'all just running with whatever, whoever say what. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you never really fully understand the truth because you can't listen to the voice that's in your head. You never listen to that, man.
Okay. Gaia is the goddess's name of Earth, but the name of Earth is called Planet Kai. Earth is only a name that was given by the people from planet Nern, these Caucasians. They called it Earth to remind them of Nern, okay? The planet where they come from. I don't even call it Earth anymore, or her Earth. I just call her Planet Kai, or I'll say Gaia.
Now, when we consider Earth to be Planet Kai, right, and it being named by the people from Planet Nern, we need to understand one thing, right? The planet Nern itself, right, had to be existed and had to be basically formatted some way, right? So we have Zeus that is basically held responsible for all of these people that aren't natural, right? So what we need to understand is this, right? If there were no Zeus, first of all, y'all need to understand this. Enki, which is Zeus, right? Y'all need to understand that first and foremost. With that being said, right, when we consider Zeus, we have to understand this, right? Back in the days, there were only black people, right? So if that's the case, right, Zeus would be black, right? This is where the misconception comes in, right? Because you look at Enki and you think that Zeus would be white, bro. Zeus is not a white person. Zeus is a black person, one of the original gods. That's what y'all need to understand. When we look at pictures like this, we like, oh my God, but you need to understand that this is Zeus, whether you believe it or not. Y'all look at the pyramids, y'all see Sumerian gods, and y'all think, what do y'all think, right? Like, they were black. So understanding that black people created white people, that's a fact, based off of Zeus having to, it's the prodigal son, where Zeus would be considered the son, you know what I'm saying? And he was banished, creating other entities and energies that aren't supposed to be here, right? So y'all need to understand that Zeus was black, is black, and he literally created this, man. So when we look at Rashad Jamal, when he talk about this person, right, you have to understand what he's telling you is that this is you for a reason, so that you can subconsciously worship this person. So be very aware, right? So let's go into the next part where we talk about Kalai and just more things, right? We finna get into it.
You don't have to come to me for money. You don't have to come to me for a house. The European has set it all up for you to have those things.
So when we look at the word European, right, we have to understand it is comprised of two different words, which would be euro and peen. Euro is money, right? Peen would be, now let me double check. Peen would be resembling basically fur, but with gold spots on it, like a black ground. This is what Google was saying, right? So when you think about fur, you think about animals, right? So when we think about Europeans, right, we think about people who are about money and fur, which is animals, things that consist of prosperity, right? So we first have to consider European. When we consider Christianity, we consider that a religion before we do a race, right? So we consider that for Europeans. If that is the case, right, then Europeans don't have a color. From my knowledge, the Europeans were actually black. And I can back that up just by showing you this right here once again. Wham. So with that being understood, right, we have to get to a point where, I'm not even gonna lie, where we start pausing videos and playing it in slow motion so that you can see people's true form, right? A lot of people are scared to do it, and reason being is because you've been swallowing fear every day. with that being said, right, a lot of y'all need to know y'all's leaders or potential leaders' true forms. What y'all need to know is not only did Inky make uh, uh, species like us, but he made other species as well. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody within the reptilian community, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of those people came from your boy. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, we have to, like I said, utilize what we have in front of us, the blackened. So first of all, when we look at color, we have to understand one thing, right? Polarity is basically everything. We've been taught that multiple times, right? So when you put a picture in black and white, or you change the color or the hue of the picture, right? So when you change the hue in a picture, man, you're gonna get this person's natural color. They're gonna show their true colors if you change the hue. So a lot of y'all need to start looking at these videos in different colors so that you can see this person's true form. You're gonna also see that a lot of these people start to go on a they go into a nomadic phase where the camera glitch, and then you can see their real form for a second, and then they go back to normal, right? Reason that you don't actually get to see these people's real form in real life is because, you know, X-Men showed it. We have to understand this, right? Evolution isn't a theory. It's a theory in a sense, right? So, of course, there's a little magic placed on top. There isn't just animals and things like that. Aliens are involved as well, but that never gets mentioned in these conspiracy theories, even though that the aliens are on the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? So be fully aware of these things, right?
How do we fix it, Kylie? Just, I want to get your opinion on how do we fix it and where do we start. In your case, you're saying you're going to focus on the children, and I feel you on that, because that is, yes, that definitely makes sense to me. And that definitely is where we need to be at, as far as focusing on the youth.
So the only issue I have with that is what you saying is you have little hope for the people who are above a certain age limit, right? A certain age, right? Age bracket, I should say, right? So you're limiting the attention that you put on a certain age group, when we know that we don't really age, and what we go through in this life is something that we can take potentially to our next lives, right? So the focus is on the children. The deception is on the children. I need y'all to understand that, right? The focus is to keep people to feel comfortable in this form so that we don't elevate to the next one. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, after this life, you are considered to have a upgrade of a life, right? So you can go to the next dimension and stay in the next dimension, but we have chosen to come back to this mug over and over again because of the leftover emotions or energy that we attach or place values upon, that are specific to this realm only. You feel what I'm saying? So we look at this realm and we fall in love with the women, the men, you know, the sex, everything that comes with it, right? And we never really fully truly want to move on and look different, right? We don't want an alien eye on our face, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just don't want to basically ascend or transcend. People feel like they're going to have the same body when they transcend, but on the contrary, when you look at other planets, you notice that other entities have different bodies, right? So we have to pay attention to this, right? So when we look at, excuse me, turn this off. Look at just the way we advance in life, right? We must consider evolution or evolving to the next dimension um, something that has to be done, something that we must value is, moving forward. So if we get caught up in the lust and all of the things that transpire on earth, we never really gonna fully see what earth is about. So that comment that was made by Kalai and yours truly, not me, but your girl, whatever, is ridiculous, because we have to, like I said, these people, there are a lot of energies and entities that reside within these people. I'm just gonna be honest. This is the good part of the video. If you made it to this part, you finna get the real, honest truth. These people are not Rashad, Jamal, Kalai. A lot of these people, they're not this lady right here. You know what I'm saying? That's not a real person. That is a person that is controlled by an entity. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all need to understand, right? We had different forms before we were able to get inside of this body, right? So there is another energy or another entity that has been controlling that body from the very beginning.